You're listening to the Combat Jack Show podcast. Combat Jack Show. What's up, A King?
What's good, player? I'm good.
Man, these headphones sound so crisp right now. Shout out to our microphone sponsor, man,
Rhodes.
They definitely, it's a Rode.
Rode, yes.
You black people always want to put an S on
Stop.
shit. I'm surprised you don't say New York's.
Nah.
My nigga, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. I've been good.
Yeah, we've been traveling, man.
It feels weird a little bit because we've been in our apologies, internets. We took a little a well-needed 2 weeks off.
Yes.
A lot going on.
Yes.
But we back at it.
Well, you know what, internets, I kind of owe y'all apology, and I kind of don't owe you motherfucker shit because we've been fucking giving y'all consistent content for the past 7 years. I haven't had a vacation or even a semblance thereof in about 4 years. Y'all motherfuckers take vacations every fucking 6 months. We just did this fucking show, Mogul. I'm fucking exhausted.
Mogul.
The
Life and Death of Chris Lighty.
Life and Death of Chris Lighty. We'll get into that. So, we went to L.A. We had an amazing show. Shout out to Mike Will Made It.
Yes.
Shout out to our sponsor, Acid. And what's the name of the coffee shop that we did it at?
Bar 9.
Bar 9, man.
Yes. L.A.,
man, thanks for the love. And a lot of people loved that episode, man. And after that, I was like, I need a fucking break, man. So it was my birthday this past weekend, man. I flew out to Vegas. And I just, luxuriated. You know what I'm saying? And I feel ready. I'm back. So let's jump into this, man. First and foremost, thank you, internets, again, for the overwhelming support for Mogul. The Life and Death of Chris Lighty. It's kind of weird. We had 2 releases. The initial release was exclusive on Spotify, and the second one is on all platforms. It's out there, and it's doing very well. We're at that number 2 spot. We're about to hit that number 1 spot. All internets. All I need from you is to ensure, if you fuck with us, if you fuck with the movement, if you fuck with Mogul, rate. If you haven't already done so, rate, subscribe, and comment. Especially on Apple iTunes podcast.
No more iTunes. It's just Apple Podcasts.
It's Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, do that on Apple Podcasts, man. I want that number 1 spot so I can talk my shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we do it for the culture. We have some dates coming up. We got a New York date, a New York live, Combat Jack Show live date on July 27th.
Yeah.
Guests to be announced. You know what I'm saying? What else we got coming up?
At the Paper Box.
At the Paper Box in Brooklyn.
Go to Ticketfly or hit up our bios on our social media for the ticket link.
Definitely.
It's what is it? $15 in advance, $20 at the door.
Yes.
So
come through, man. Support a nigga, man.
Level up.
Support a nigga, man. Shout out to all the podcasters out there, man. I see y'all. It's an interesting time, man. And there's I was just talking to somebody earlier today, and they were like, "Yo, I want to come in the podcast game, but I feel it's too late." My niggas, my bitches, listen. It's still early in the game. Last year was when everybody came into this spot, but it's still just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I love about this is now the major corporations are looking at what we've done over the past 7 years, and they're looking at this community of all you podcasters and all these shows out here, and they're like, how can we get in? You know what I'm saying? How can we capitalize on this black community and this black audience? Because they never thought there was a black audience
for podcasts.
Traditionally podcasts were created for like the nerdy white boy, all of that, and no shots to them, but they still couldn't believe. So one of my boys was pitching something for us the other day, and he was with all these rich white cats. He was pitching some shit with regard to podcasts.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, but black people don't, still, like 2 weeks ago, black people don't listen to podcasts. That ignorance, man, like I hate that shit, man. There's so much money in this game. Not saying that I'm making all of it or even a fraction of it, but there's so much money in the game. I encourage y'all to come in, man. Like, I definitely enjoy the camaraderie. I love all podcasts, but when I see podcasts of color, man, shout outs to all y'all. Shout out to my boy Eric Eddings and Brittany Luce, man. They just released a new podcast on Gimlet Media. It's called The Nod.
The Nod, yep.
And The Nod is it's so brilliant, man. It's just about the simple shit that we know, that we see every day in our culture, like how when a black man walks past a black man, and then one of the few in that scenario, they give each other the nod like they had in that Blackish episode. Yeah. And they both work at Gimlet, and they both been so supportive of me over at with the Mogul show. So I want to support them. Internets, it comes out this week.
Yep.
Support The Nod. Let's get into this, man. I took a break and really trying to, after this Mogul thing, man, I've been really trying to calibrate what my next direction should be. I think we've set the bar so high with regard to, interviewing, legendary legacy acts. We've been interviewing new acts, politicians, the whole nine. I kind of want to switch it up, and we'll talk about that internally. A King.
Yep.
Man, how's Mena doing, man?
Mena's good, man.
You know, I know we received some bad news last week, man. Shout out to our boy, man. You know.
Yeah.
Hold your head up. You know, Taxstone, man.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of cats are like, yo, why don't you want to talk about Taxstone? And it's you know, it's a lot.
It's a sensitive thing
right now. It's a sensitive thing. Niggas, stop thinking that people could talk about everything.
You can't.
And you know, I've refrained from that, but I just want you to know that does never mean that we don't support Tax and that we don't have love in our heart for Tax. And you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So Tax, you know, hold your head, man. One of the brightest stars in podcasting. Saying he came in the game last year and he shook 2 years ago and shook this bitch up. I think it was Tupac of loudspeakers. You know what I'm saying?
He was Tupac, 50 Cent, all in one.
All in one, man. And you know,
and he put on a lot of cats too.
Put on a lot of cats, man. And you know, just shout out to him, man. And don't y'all be talking out. I be getting these weird tweets. Yo, why? Man, nigga, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is grown man business. All right.
Yep.
There you go. But getting back to what I was saying, man, I'm trying to realign, and we'll talk about that later. But one of the joys that I still have about doing the Combat Jack show is when I meet cats that I've been reading about for 10, 15, 20 years, cats that have shaped the landscape, cats that have, you know what I'm saying, like, we're so New York, you know what I'm saying, and coming from New York, we had such a small perspective in terms of what the landscape was, but, you know, seeing cats that really opened up my eyes to what this broader hip-hop thing was in different cities and in different regions, you know what I'm saying, and this brother right here, definitely a legend, has been in the game for how many years now?
Ooh, 91.
91. That
first dropped something.
91. What is this? It's 2021. Well, no. 91. Hold up. Let me do the math. I'm not too smart. 2001. 2011.
7 years.
So that's 26 years. Yo, listen, internet. Without further ado, let's welcome this 26-year veteran from Chi-Town. Wait, before I even mention his name. Internets, I apologize, especially the cast from Chicago. Y'all have been some of our strongest supporters. And up until this point, we have not done a live show in Chicago. And I feel like a fucking jerk face for not doing that. And King, can we lock in Chicago for 2017,
gotta make it happen,
man? We got to make that shit happen.
Let's go to the Windy City.
Every time I go to Chicago, it's nothing but love, man. Shout out to LEP. You know, I don't know what's going on with them. Shout out to... what's her name? Damn, No Name. Love that girl. No Name, just love her. Like so much talent. So much talent. No Name. She's No Name right now. When I met her, she was No Name. Gypsy. Malcolm London. You know what I'm saying? Like so much talent. Out there. You know what I'm saying? Tons. My boy, shit. Oh, I got to look it up. Fuck, he welcomed us to Chicago and took us around. White boy, the author. I got to look up his name. Remind me before I forget, man. Because I cannot end the show without mentioning his name. But without further ado, man, one of Chicago's most consistent and brightest stars on the Combat Jack Show. Welcome to the Combat Jack Show, Mr. Twista.
What's up?
What's up, sir?
Combat Jack Show. Here I am, baby.
Yes, sir. I still want to call you Tongue Twister, man.
Man, I don't care, man. I love it. I love it.
That's when you came out with that, huh?
Yeah, that's how I came out.
Yo,
Mr. Tongue Twister.
Congratulations on your 10th studio album, Crook County.
Thank
I'm saying, like how, I was listening to some of it today, man, and it sounds real, like you're digging deep, man. Like what's the concept of this? It seems to me as if you're trying to make sense as an OG in the game. You know what I'm saying? And you're looking at the landscape of hip-hop, OG, the young cats, and how everything is going on in Chicago right now, the good and the bad. And to me, it sounds like you're really trying to figure this shit out through your art, man.
Yeah, like you right on page a little bit. You know, what I was doing was, you know, I'm always a fan of the music, the younger generation who comes up with their new things. And me being in the city of Chicago, I'm listening to different artists do their things, you know. Like you was naming, like people like No Name, people like YP, people like Boy Illinois. These are people in the city. I'm listening to their music. That's a good name, Boy Illinois. Yeah, your Boy Illinois. He killing it in the game. Just got a deal with Profile. Right?
That's dope.
Right. Yeah. One of them Priority.
I think Priority.
One of them. One of the P's. But he you know, like people like him, just different artists, man. I'm coming in the studio. You know, Sonny knows a lot of them. This my guy Sonny. He's recording a lot of them. And so I'm hearing it. and I just want to be a part of it,
Right.
like I'm always wanting to do. And me like jumping on certain songs and just vibing with the artist started to bleed over into what I was doing, which was coming with my next project. So one of the subliminal meanings of the project for me is bridging the gap between the OGs and the veterans that do it with the younger generation that does it, and show that it's easy. You know, because a lot of the older cats will be like, they don't get it, or they don't
hate
vibe
that
with
mumble
it.
rapping. They ain't rapping.
Yeah, you know. So, me being timeless with it, just wanted to come and show, man, they it always is gonna start with the youth. So instead of looking in it and seeing what's negative in it, you gotta peep it and realize, wait a minute, they selling out shows. They got a bunch of people listening to their music, all of these streams, this and that. What is it about this particular artist that people are gravitating towards?
Right.
And you just listen to it and vibe with it, and I'm always able to catch it and just keep going with it. So, my project is like bridging that gap between the OGs and the youngsters.
It's so important that we do that, man. Like, I was almost gonna be one of those old heads. I was like,
Almost?
No, I was almost there. Like, I was almost there, like with Soulja Boy.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I didn't understand the Soulja Boy thing.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah. And then one day my sons, and they was in the living room with these white kids and Asian kids and Latino kids doing the Soulja Boy dance. And I was looking at them, and they was probably like 15 at the time, like my eldest one.
Yeah.
No, I was longer. Like, how long was Soulja Boy? Like 10 years ago?
Damn,
So he was like 10. My son was 10.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah.
all my kids and their friends doing the Soulja Boy dance. It's like, I don't want to be that old nigga that takes away their joy, like how old niggas used to tell us that this shit wasn't music.
Yeah, and that's really what helped me not go that route. You
Right.
know, once you see that constant change, you like, okay, every time we do it, then we get older, then start to growl at the shorties like, that ain't music. And then these guys get older, then they growl at the next shorties like, that ain't music. How many times it gotta happen for you to realize you're just getting old?
Yeah.
And you gotta kind of stay with it, you
Yeah.
know. And true enough, sometimes it might be changing for the better or for the worse culturally, but at the same time, it's still music. And when it comes to just jamming and knowing what's popping and what's hot and what's not, and being with what's in and what works, you got to pay attention and know what's going on.
Yo, I'll never forget this conversation I had with my mentor, my legal mentor, Louise West, years ago.
Okay.
We were driving down, I think, Atlantic City,
Okay.
and Niggas for Life just dropped.
Bang.
And she was, she's from an older generation, and she appreciated hip hop. So I was like, you gotta listen to this nigga Dre. The production on this is crazy. It's a little crazy, but and I remember playing Niggas for Life in the car with her.
Uh-huh.
And she knows music, but she's like, yo, do you know what this is gonna do to the culture? But I was so young then. I was like, yo, this shit is banging. It's banging. And even now, when you listen to Niggas for Life, it's arguably a better album than Straight Outta Compton.
I do the same thing, man. I pull Niggas for Life out a few times every year. Like, man, this shit is still killing everything. Like,
killed
the clarity, the quality, and just
and then Eazy's voice, man. We used to clown Eazy in New York. I miss that boy, man. But at the same time, I question, years later. You know what I'm saying? With the limit, like a lot of the subject. I don't want to sound like an old head, but like a lot of the subject matter that these cats have graded, even after NW, even my era in the 90s, when I played the 90s music for my kids, they're like, Dad, it's too much shooting. And I wonder if that was one of those points where, as much as it was great for the culture, it still took the culture to the next, in the opposite direction.
But I think it reflects what was going on in the inner cities, right?
Well, no. Straight Outta Compton, I think, reflected what was going on in the inner cities. Niggas for Life was niggas wilding out.
niggas.
Nigga.
Gave niggas money. That's what you gave niggas money and a studio and everything else to come along with it.
Yeah.
So they was having fun. It still was very, very good music.
Yes.
It still was good music. But, at a certain stage, sometimes I just sit back at it and just look at it like, damn, like you always question like how long did it take for you to realize, okay, the music started out like experimental, this hip hop thing and this rap thing. So it starts out experimental, then you get a bunch of this positive music, and it's got the conscious mind a certain way.
Got you feeling
the
so
shorties,
proud.
Then you get some groups that start wilding and cursing a little bit. Then you see the effect of that,
right?
And then it's like, you know, that money is out there, man. People want that money, and you got these big companies. They got the choice to choose this music to keep everybody's mind state one way,
Right.
or no, we ain't messing with that. We're gonna choose this music to make the mind state one way. So, you know, I definitely think music is a form of control, and one of the reasons that you have only the negative music at the forefront is because this is what they use to help keep us in a certain frame of mind.
I agree with that. I mean? And I remember this one guy from years ago, man. He was like some meta physicist or whatever. And he was like, yo, man, I'm not talking bad about the music, but when you hear like the frequency of the music right now, it's real low. It keeps your energy low. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, is there some shit to that? I mean, I got to investigate that. I'm not shitting on music, but still, these are the conversations we need to have, man.
Yeah.
Definitely we need to have. Before we jump to the next question, man, I do have to shout out my boy Lil B. Because Lil B.
What up, Lil B?
Yo, thank you, Bass God. Like, that nigga had a conversation with him like 6 years back, man. And he was like, yo, man, we at this crucial juncture where, you know, it's the rap conservatives, the rap Republicans, or the rap liberals. And then you got these old niggas just like, yeah, I heard that shit. I wanted back to it. It was back in the day. And you got these young niggas that's just trying to live, man. And he was like, which one do you want to be? And it's like, I'm not being them conservative niggas, man.
Independent.
You know what I'm saying? Independent, Green Party, liberal, the whole nine. And all you niggas that's like sneak dissing me on social media because I support Young Thug, man, start your own shit. And get your own platform and talk about the shit that you like. Because my taste is my personal taste. I know I've talked shit about Young Thug in the past, but I can't deny the nigga's music.
What people don't like about Young Thug?
I mean,
I be hearing people say stuff, but what is it? Like
they never say what.
I guess it's his image. The nigga, I mean, you know what I'm saying? When the nigga was wearing
he's trolling when he does that.
I mean, who knows? I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. But like, you know, like niggas that used to dress crazy back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I guess
what up, Melly Mel?
Is what a person is into. Like, I'm into the rap aspect of it. So when he first came out, I heard the man switch like 3-4 flows on one track before, just like Drake did. I was like, okay, this dude can rap. And I always paid attention to his cadences and rhythms and how he makes a song and stuff like that. So that's most of the stuff I paid attention to with him, and that's always what made me a fan of him. I didn't really get too much into the other part of what was going on, what he was wearing, and all that type of stuff. Like, I just pay attention to his music.
Let me ask you something, man, because this is something that I can't answer, because I just like how it sounds. But you being such a technical dude, you being so proficient, I'm saying with the word with the art of rap, is what Thug is doing. Is that hard to do? Is that some next level shit?
I mean, you gotta listen to his music as a whole. Sometime, like you'll listen to it and you'll think something is simple. But have you ever heard a complex Young Thug verse or something that was on that level that you consider rap? And if you hear it, you'll realize that his creativity ranges. Like, if he wants to take it there and get you thinking, or like really come there with the flows, then he knows how to take it there. But then at other times, you know, the shorties be on that wave, they be on that vibe a lot. You know, they know how to go from lyrical and have you thinking to just wavy, how you vibe and how your emotion is. So a lot of times they just be on that wave.